That is so good.
Before we get started, Zach,
No.
have you do a quick little greeting. You're going to say, what's up, Zach Neto? And this is Under the Halo podcast. Under the Halo podcast.
Under the Halo podcast.
Yes, exactly.
Hi, this is Zach Neto, and this is the Under the Halo.
Under the Halo.
Hi, this is Zach Neto, and this is Under the Halo podcast.
Way to go, Zach. You're natural. You're a natural.
I'm trying.
I almost feel weird calling you Zach because I'm trying to keep up with the nicknames because I want to just call you Big Papa.
Oh.
I think that's how we want to do it.
People keep messing around saying Big Poppy. I'm like,
it's not Big Poppy.
That's not
it's
it.
Not Big Poppy. It's
that's
Big Papa.
not it. Big Poppy's his own self. Yeah.
My question for you is, how many nicknames are you up to now?
You got Big Papa, Zach Attack, Magneto from Gooby.
Okay, that's 3.
It's the only ones I can think of right now.
Timmy,
yeah, that's for sure one.
I got logo.
That's
are you a South Park guy? Is that new?
Maybe like a week ago, and I can't stop watching it. It's so funny.
I'm just amused personally, like the growth of Zach Neto, because when we first met, we were talking SpongeBob, and now we're talking South Park. So it's like you're growing up before our very eyes.
Yeah, I'm a big cartoon guy.
When did that? How did you're just like locked into South Park now? That's like are they still making new ones, or like did you go back and see?
I have no idea. I'm watching the old ones. So I went to Logan and Joyce's house one day. We were going to the Kings game, hockey, and they had South Park playing. I was like, "What the heck is this? Like, are you kidding me?" And when I sit down and I'm just watching, I'm like, "Oh my God, this is hilarious!" And so ever since, I was like, "You know what? I'll watch another episode."
It's been on for like 30 years.
Yeah,
so
I
like
know.
you had no exposure, and then like all of a sudden, it's just like here we are.
Yeah, I go around the locker room to all the old guys, like the coaching staff and stuff. I'm like, "Hey, have you guys ever seen South Park?" Yeah, when I was like 10. So
there you go.
It's pretty funny.
You said going to the Kings game. You guys, like as a team, you guys have done a lot of stuff. Like a lot of people in sports, I have found that like when you're at the ballpark all the time, or you're a basketball, you're at the arena all the time, that on the off day, generally, like you don't go to that many sporting events. You and this group is different. You guys are going, if there's an off day and there's a game in the town you're at, like you're going there. That's gotta be pretty cool.
Yeah, we're there. Just trying to get ourselves out from the baseball atmosphere a little bit. This game's already as stressful as it is, so be able to, take a step back and enjoy another sport. They come enjoy us whenever they get a chance. So just be able to give back, and it's fun watching a game from the stands and learning about how their game's played, just like when they watch us how our game's played. So it's pretty cool, and you get to be with the guys, have a good time. Not so many people get to enjoy that time together. So off days are very rare in this league. So trying to enjoy it is pretty special.
I know that in South Florida, like, you hadn't always had hockey be good. It's good now. It just won the cup the other year. Were you like a hockey guy, or was going to a Kings game, was that kind of new in the hockey world?
I went to a couple Panthers games. I went to one before, like when I was a little kid. Never really watched hockey all the way to high school. Got to college, and it was big. In North Carolina, it's big. Hockey's over there. You got Carolina Hurricanes, got all these teams. And so I started getting into, watching it with the guys, and ever since I was like, you know what, I'm going for the hometown team, Florida. Might have been like 2019, I think, and I followed them ever since and made it even better. Got to the big leagues, and the Rangers are playing the Panthers, and Logan's a big Rangers fan, so knowing the person I am, I was talking mad crap to him and how the Panthers were going to beat them, and they ended up beating him, so it was pretty cool.
I love that. Who's a better trash talker, like you or Logan?
Me. Without a doubt.
Not even close.
Not even close.
I could see Logan trying to be a good trash talker, and just
Logan's too nice.
You also, I know that you guys were around when the Lakers were in Minnesota. You guys were there. You went to a Bulls game earlier, so you guys got into the basketball world a little bit. I was having a conversation with some of the guys of like, okay, LeBron's walking through the hotel lobby, like who's going to go up to him? And I was like, okay, Mike would probably approach LeBron. They probably know each other. I don't know, but I'm assuming that. And then our good friend Mark Langston was like, there is no chance Zach Neto would not just go walk up to like whoever, like you're going to go talk to whatever. Do you like have those kind of interactions with other athletes? Does that kind of stuff happen?
It's starting to become more known. hanging around Mike definitely helps. But
for sure. I mean, he's an all-time legend.
Exactly. Yeah. So being around him and having other athletes stay at our hotels or us going to see them play, it's pretty cool. And it's not all the time where you get to see an NBA player walk right in front of you. So it's like if you get the chance, I would say hello.
Do you have like maybe a different appreciation for athletes in other sports, like now with what you are in Major League Baseball, about like what you go through, like maybe it's different, like a different appreciation as a fan?
Of course. Yeah. Knowing the grind that you have to go through, not only during the season but in the off season as well. Been there, done that. So just respecting everything they do, seeing their greatness when they're playing their game, it's pretty special to watch. And like I said, whenever there's a chance that LeBron or Dwayne Wade or somebody's walking past you and you have the opportunity to go introduce yourself or even say hello, I think it's a no-brainer to go introduce yourself.
For sure. I totally get where you're coming from. And I also think about like you as a person. And we feel like we've known you since you were a baby. By the time you hit the major leagues, I mean, come on, you've done a lot before you got here. But we're watching you grow up, Zach. It's cool. Fans, I think, like seeing that before our very eyes here. At the same time, I'm guessing there were probably some things, like if you were to look back to your rookie season when you first came up, like, man, I was an idiot. Like, I was really stupid that I thought that. Are there any of those moments that like, kind of occur to you now, a couple years into this thing, looking back of like, man, I wish I would have known this, or I wish maybe I didn't handle this way? Do you ever think about that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so my first year, I never really took my diet as strictly as I do now.
Okay.
Getting hurt, banged up a couple times my first year, it definitely was a learning lesson for me. Never been hurt ever since my elbows, never been hurt. So kind of going through that whole process and talking with Becky, our dietitian, and her telling me, hey, what are you eating post-game? What are you eating before the game? And just looking at her face, I mean, we joke about it all the time now. Looking at her face and her being like, oh my God, that is terrible. It was definitely a learning lesson. It humbled me, and ever since that conversation, and knocking on wood, I haven't been back on the IL, with any like small little injury. I've been keeping it very strict with my diet, making sure that I'm playing every single game, and feeling good. So it's the best part.
When was the last time you had talkies?
Don't tell Logan, but yesterday.
See, come on, you just gave us a whole spiel about how you're working on your diet. You got all this stuff together, and then you go and you was yesterday what, a cheat day? Like,
you have one cheat day. It was a late night snack.
By the way, we're gonna tell Logan.
Yeah, late night snack. Don't tell Logan.
Okay, all right. We won't rat you out. I'm sure it will get back to him because you just kind of self-reported, which I appreciate about you to be able to do that. But at the same time, I mean, it's going to get back to Logan.
Yeah, you can't tell Logan because then he's going to have a box of broccoli in front of my locker tomorrow, and that's not going to be good.
We've heard that. We've heard that happens. Are you two, like, as you guys are going about this, it's one thing to come up together, like, as friends. I think sometimes you see guys maybe come in as friends and they're friends for a little bit, and not that they drift apart, but like other people come into their lives. You're in this game for a while, and it's hard to keep a really close relationship. How has it been with Logan now that kind of 2 years into this thing?
So it's pretty special because when I first got drafted in 22, we had just traded for him. Mm-hmm. I got called up to AA, and he was my roommate, so that was my first time ever meeting Logan. And I mean, we just clicked right away. Just two personalities, just kind of kicking it off, getting to know each other. And we haven't skipped a beat. I mean, we talk all the time in off season, just seeing how we're feeling. His mom and dad and family, sisters, I mean, they're incredible. And just being able to just have that close relationship with him is pretty cool. And knowing that he's a year older than me, and we're pretty much a future, hopefully, and being able to turn this around. It's just somebody easy to talk to, and he gets it. And us having the two same goals in mind, and that's to play in October, try to change this team around, try to flip everything that's going on and trying to get back to the winning sides. It's pretty special, and it's like I said, we have a couple trash talk here and there, but it's just tough love, and he gets it. We don't get in our feelings when we talk about it. We understand, and it's what this game's all about.
You said some really important, interesting things in that, which I want to get back to in just a moment. But before we do, okay, so Logan comes after you on the diet and that kind of stuff. When you're needling him, like how do you get to Logan O'Hoppe?
Oh my, it's so easy. So easy, you know, he looks like this robot made in a lab, and you know, he's always talking about his body and his body fat. I'm like, dude, I'm only like 4% right above you. Like, I'm not too far. And so when he like talks to me, I'm like, hey, look, just turn around, let me grab your love handles. And he gets so butthurt when I grab them. So you know, it's an easy way to get to him. It definitely hurts him a little bit knowing that he has those love handles, but it's funny.
That was probably more information than I was hoping for. I gotta be honest with you. I was a little bit more than I was expecting there, but I will take it. I'm happy that we can hit Logan on the love handle. That'd be great to get under his skin. That's fantastic. But what you were saying a moment ago about you guys kind of feeling like you're a huge part of what's going to happen here. And I think a lot of fans feel that way. I think you talk to a lot of people around the organization. There's a lot of people that feel that. And obviously, you know, we see the talent and we see what you guys bring, both at the plate and defensively, and it's awesome. And watching the growth every year getting a lot better than the year before, which is really neat to see. But Zach, I got to tell you, you kind of struck me in spring training when I've kind of known you as this, you know, fun, happy-go-lucky, jokester, prankster kind of guy that, yeah, we play baseball, and I know you work hard, but, you know, have fun playing the game. I thought it seemed like you took a very different approach to the rehab process and getting back on the field. I felt like I saw like a more serious side of Zach Neto that I'd never seen before, about how much you were wanting to get back on the field, how important it was for you to get back as soon as possible, to get back early. Well, at the same time, I know people were probably trying to hold you back a little bit for your best interest. Yeah. What was that time like? And maybe was there something that kind of clicked in for you mentally about how you needed to approach that? Like, how did you go about that?
So going into the offseason, I didn't want to do the surgery. I wanted to see if I could, you know, power through this, see if I could avoid it. Maybe it's something I could, you know, eventually get over and be back for spring training. But after trying for a month, you know, it just wasn't getting any better. So, you know, we went the operation route, and after I got operated, I mean, the next day I was already on the table getting treatment, you know, therapy, moving my arm around. It just kind of reminded me of when I was a little kid, when I got my first elbow surgery. You know, just people telling me I couldn't do stuff. You know, it kind of just struck me as like that underdog mentality again. You know, I was on the bottom and I needed to get my way back up. And you know, I got to spring training, and like you said, like a lot of people saying I can't do a lot of things, can't do this. I gotta wait. And I'm not one person to talk back. I'm not one person to like, you know, not agree with what one person's saying. But I'm also one person not to. I don't like when I can't be told I can't do something. So that kind of struck in my head a little bit that I'm gonna come back when I'm gonna come back, and as fast as possible, but as healthy as possible. And the whole spring training, I took it seriously. You know, I wanted to do more than what I was supposed to do. I wanted to try to come back as quick as possible. You know, talking with Wash, talking with Gogo, talking with the hitting coaches. You know, it's just, this team's good, and I just want to be a part of it. And I don't care if I'm 80%, I don't care if I'm 70%. I want to be a part of it, and the success and failures that we have, I want to be a part of it. And watching it from the dugout, it was just a learning lesson for me, knowing that I'm a way better player when I'm on the field than when I am in the dugout. You know, I could be the loudest cheerleader in the dugout, but it's not the same. It's not the same feeling. So just taking that like step back and just enjoying every moment that I can, knowing that like I deserve to be out there. I'm a way better player for this team, for myself when I'm out there playing. And you know, it's just, I persevered through everything, all the pain and suffering that I had to go through. Not much suffering, but more pain. You know, just trying to get back as quick as possible to help this team. And I was able to come back pretty quick, and you know, I'm thankful for it.
I think about what you were saying before, trying to turn this thing around, this Angels Ball Club. And you know, it's been a while since this team's been in the postseason, and there's a lot of people that are wanting to see this Angels team get back to that. You might remember, you know, in the 2000s, the Angels won 900 games, and it was a core of homegrown talent that ultimately got the Angels to that place. obviously the game of baseball, very different landscape in 2025 than it was in 2002. But what are some of the things that you think about are pretty important when you're thinking about wanting to get this team to that next level, wanting to help change some of the parts of the culture? It seems like the culture in many respects is pretty good. But what are some of the things that you guys think about when you were trying to turn this thing around?
The biggest words that came up were building a culture here, holding each other accountable, and just building as much relationships as possible. The culture we have, that's something we're not lacking. Everybody gets along very well. We all respect each other. Accountability, it's something that we take with a lot of pride. It's something that we just want to make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to. Pitchers are being able to throw strikes and get outs. Infielders just making sure that ball stays in the infield, be where you're supposed to, and the hitters just doing what you got to do, putting the name in the front over the name in the back. That's the biggest thing, and that's holding each other accountable. And just relationships. Off the field. It's just be able to enjoy the time with the guys, your teammates. That's how you build relationships, and then that's how you go back to the first one, which is culture. Having that relationship, knowing that, hey, like Trent, I trust you. I'm gonna have your back, just like I know you're gonna have my back. So, that's a talk that we have in the clubhouse. That's a talk we have on our group chats. That's a talk we have all the time. It's just a matter of now we need to take that next step to just be able to, like I said before, we're walking the walk. We're talking the talk right now. Now we need to be able to walk the walk. So, it's little steps that we're taking forward, but I feel like we're moving in the right direction.
I say this knowing you were the team MVP last year, and knowing that you've also have 2 years of service time and are not yet 25. It's a unique kind of situation you're in. But when you're first coming up, you're the young guy cutting your teeth. Now you've done enough. You're probably, part of your role is probably to hold others accountable. Yeah. Is that a hard thing for you? Does it come easily? I mean, I would think that at 24 years old, that'd be hard to hold others accountable, but I don't know. Is it?
Yeah, coming up, it was kind of like, hey, ears open, mouth closed.
Sure.
Don't ruffle no feathers. I think the biggest thing this year has just been like everybody's open to holding each other accountable, and so like to give you an example, just like 2 years ago, I would have been so quiet talking with Mike. Whatever he did wrong, which he rarely does, whichever he does wrong, like I would never say nothing to Mike. He's 3-time MVP, unlimited, all-stars. Probably somebody you wouldn't want to say nothing to. But now having 2 years here, and getting comfortable with Mike, that's where you build that relationship with him, knowing that not only as a teammate but as a friend. Hey, like Mike, we need to I think you need to do this better. And now I have the confidence to go up to Mike and know that he's not gonna take it the bad way. Like, hell, look at this rookie thinking he could tell me. That's where the relationship and comfortability that all of us have together in that locker room, and that's where I feel like we hold each other accountable. And the guys who we brought in this year, like free agent signings or trades, like they're just they're super open to it, which is making it way easier for this locker room to flow. And I know the record doesn't show right now like that it's flowing, but it's flowing. And once we start clicking, it's gonna be tough to stop us.
It's what you're talking about is pretty mature stuff. I think about some players that have gone their whole careers and aren't able to have the kind of conversations that you're talking about. So I think that's an interesting dynamic and an interesting part of this culture that you guys are building. Just, I think, a step away from this, it's fascinating to see how all that plays out. At the same time, on the field, trying to also make sure that you're making those steps. I talked to Ron Washington about you, and when you first came back, and Wash was like, yeah, if Zach Neto is this year who he was last year, that's a problem. And you were the team MVP last year, but knowing you have to continue to progress, continue to get better. How is it when you're coming back from an injury, when you're rehabbing, to at the same time not only just get back to that same level, but also be at a point where you're going to get better this year than you were a season ago? How tough is that?
I would say the biggest thing is just enjoy what you did last year. Like, I enjoyed it when I got back home in the off season, but once that new year turns around, you haven't done nothing. So I took it as, like I said, like I take it every year. I'm the underdog, and I'm trying to make it to the top. And I'm not big on looking at power rankings, looking at all these rankings or whatnot. But seeing my name in that top 10, it kind of put a fire under my butt. I know the player I am. I know everybody in this league, and the numbers I put up last year showed it. So it's just a matter of how I could bounce back from that. I started off the year slow now with this shoulder surgery, but not missing a beat ever since I came back. And that was my biggest message to myself. Just whenever I come back, don't think about the results. Just think about how we can help this team win. And I'm not really caring about my individual stats. It's just more, how many games can I play for this team knowing that we're going to win? So, all the outside noise, it's like Wash says, you can't hurt my feelings. So Wash has done a really good job of just making sure he keeps me even keel. And it's fun to come to work every day knowing that you have a team, you have coaches, you have teammates who just make it easier to come to work.
What drives Zach Neto? Is it internally? Is it getting left off a top 10 list? Is it mom and dad? Is it your manager? Like who pushes you? Where does some of that fire come from?
I think it's everything. I'm not big on social media, like what sources have to say. Everybody has their own opinion. I think what gets me going is just seeing my teammates, seeing my coaches push me to be better every day. Talking a little smack, which that gets me going all the time. But just the company of everybody, calling my mom and dad, and my dad telling me every day that, like, hey, like, we talk on the phone, and right before we hang up, it's like, hey, try not to suck today. So, it's just something that gets me going. It doesn't really take much. I'm a ball of energy. I wake up and I'm ready to go. I give me some water, give me a coffee or whatnot, and I'm ready to go. So it's just, I don't know, it's just the way I am. It doesn't really take much to get me going. It's just a matter of keeping me going throughout the game, keeping me going throughout the day, which my teammates and coaches do a really good job.
How's we've talked way too much baseball, so I apologize for that. We're supposed to talk about all the other fun stuff besides baseball. How's the bowling game right now?
It's legit.
Do you have any 300s?
I do not. My dad talks about it all the time. He bowled 1 300.
Okay.
I have not. I think my closest has been a 240, which it's not
pretty good.
Yeah, it's not
that's
bad.
Not close to 300.
Yeah, not close. Close. Which that's another step I want to do. It's just keep practicing, working hard to making sure I get my arts and crafts ready, and once that day comes, it's fine, perfect.
Your arts and crafts ready? What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
You're right. Not arts and crafts.
Hold on. But hold on. Let me get this straight. So goals for Zach Neto: win a World Series, Gold Glove, Silver Slugger, MVP, bowl 300. Do I have that correctly?
That's definitely up there on the list.
Okay, so that's on the list. That's good. But you also, and I give you credit for this too. You have taken what you've done with the bowling and turned it into some pretty cool stuff. What you did for that Joe DiMaggio Hospital down in Miami, I think that's incredible. Giving money back to the kids, like that's a huge deal, Zach. Why is that so important for you to be able to do that kind of stuff?
Yeah. So unfortunately, I lost 2 people close to me, my family, to cancer. 1 year right apart from each other, and I took something that I enjoy doing, which is not baseball. Outside of baseball, and I like to bowl. So I took something outside of that and just be able to make it useful. And visiting the Joe DiMaggio Hospital right after this season and going to see those kids, I was pretty inspired to do something for them. Great names that come out of there: Jeff Conine, Anthony Rizzo, Jesus Luzardo. They all donate back to them. And I think it's pretty special, and I wanted to take that next step forward to, give back to the community. And I talked with the Joe DiMaggio people, and they were super on board to do it. And it was my first time ever doing it. I was like, well, let's do it. And I thought it was pretty cool. Just that whole night, it was just talking to people back home. Family, friends, people who just look up to me, little kids who are inspired. And it was special. And throughout the end of the day, it was just knowing that it was going to be for a good cause, knowing that the two people I lost are looking down and you know they're very happy at what I was doing, and that next day going to the Joe DiMaggio, giving out little gifts and then finally giving that big check, I think it's pretty special, and you know, it was very emotional. It's definitely took a big piece of my heart, and can't stop thinking about it.
And you got a big heart. I see it, Zach. I mean, it's always cool, and you know, I hope fans, if you're a fan that ever gets to come to batting practice and you see the interactions that Zach that you have, I think it's pretty neat spending that time, especially with kids. So good with them, which is awesome. I did think of something though, arts and crafts related for you. Your cleats, your gear, all your stuff. I feel like is very intentional. So can you walk me through? First of all, can you walk me through like the design of the cleats and like what some of the gear that you have? Like, it seems like you generally will wear stuff that has meaning. Do I have that right?
Yeah, everything I wear like that's customized, it has meaning to it. You know, I could go back to last year for what was the
Players Weekend?
Yeah, the Players Weekend.
Yeah.
You know, my first day I wore all Campbell stuff. You know, shouting out my school.
Go Camels!
Yeah, go Camels. You know, the next day I wore green and purple, which, you know, purple was one of my uncle who passed away. That was his favorite color. And then on the shoe it said Mr. Plum, which that's what we used to call him, and he had a purple car, which inspired me to get my first purple car. And then this year, you know, I get all these ideas from, like, I'll be scrolling through TikTok and I see, man, those are nice shoes. So then I look at my shoe and I'm like, all right, I think I know what I want to do. So this year, I was like, you know what, I want to come with a bang. My first day back, it's a home game. You know, we're facing a pretty good pitcher in Logan Webb. I want to make sure everybody remembers who I am. So I came out with the Big Papa shoes. You know, I got them pretty vibrant to make sure everybody knew and saw what they were. And yeah, it was pretty special. You know, it's I got more coming, and it's a lot of meaning behind it.
So the bright Big Papa shoes, you drive a purple car. Doesn't Logan drive like a green car?
No, I drive the green car.
You drive the green car.
Yeah.
It's a shit. It's too bad you guys don't want to get noticed.
Yeah.
You know, just totally fly under the radar.
Can you tell I'm from Miami?
I know, right?
Yeah.
That's it right there. That's pretty good. You wear Miami loud and proud in Southern California.
I
think that's awesome. So, speaking of loud, maybe not proud, I remember hearing this. So, correct me if I'm wrong. When sometimes things, I know it's not often, especially when you were in high school. It did not happen often, but from time to time, everybody goes through it. Goes through the offensive slumps. You have your walk-up song. Is there another song that gets played to get you going a little bit?
Yeah, I wouldn't say this year in the game. I think I'm going to keep it Big Papa just because I got that nickname. I remember last year, I started off my first April, early May with the slump, and I think I went to like 6 different songs just trying to see which one had a hit. And
okay, I can tell you right now, whatever song it was not the song I'm thinking about.
It might be. It might be. I started.
Baby Shark?
No.
Come on, we gotta play Baby Shark.
No,
we didn't hear a
no
Baby Shark
chance.
in the ballpark last year.
No chance. My mom loved that song.
I've been told every time Baby Shark is played, you have gotten a hit. You might not have liked it, but you've gotten a hit every time.
Yeah. You know, it's like one of my teammates, Tyler Anderson, said. You know, he said getting uncomfortable is good. You know, not always being comfortable is not always a bad thing. Yeah. So, you know, we haven't been playing well, and you know, whatever the pitcher's listening to or whatever the hitters are listening to, we try to switch it up. We try to do something that's not going to make us comfortable, and you know, just try to find a way to get it done. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. But Baby Shark will never happen. Sorry, Mom.
I'm so disappointed. I'm crushed.
Sorry, Mom.
I'm not as crushed as Mrs. Neto, but I'm absolutely crushed by that. By the way, this is, I'm sure your parents would be pretty excited about, the Zach Neto Bobblehead.
Yeah. What
do you think? You got your tattoos on there.
Yeah.
You got a little bit of scruff on there. What do you think? How'd they do?
I mean, I think they did pretty good. I mean, it's pretty spot on. Tattoos, you know, you got the lion, prevail and conquer. You got City of Miami.
Yeah, there you
go. South Beach with the camel on there.
The kicks are dirty. The pants are not dirty.
Yeah, the pants are not dirty. Yeah, accurate. You know, it's It's okay. It's a good start. It's a good start. But I mean, the eye black's unbelievable. You know,
Nailed
you got
it.
the little scruffle with the goatee going. I mean, this came out awesome. And
Is that your first bobblehead?
this is not my first one.
You got one last year, didn't you?
I had one in not with the Angels. I had one in Rocket City.
Oh, that's right.
I
I
had one in
forgot
Rocket
about
City
that.
with the leg kick.
Okay.
So this will be my first defensive one for sure.
But okay, just hold on a second. Like I know you're the great Zach Neto, and you're going to be a multi-time All-Star, you're going to lead this team to the promised land. I know all that, but okay, just take a step back as like 10-year-old Zach Neto. Dude, you got a big league bobblehead.
Yeah, that's
sick.
awesome. No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah, I mean you got to be sending. You got to be getting like how many boxes of these you're going to send all your friends and family?
Oh, however many they give me, I'm definitely gonna ask for a bunch.
Yeah.
I got a lot of people in my family. I remember as a 10-year-old, going back to those days and knowing that there was a bobblehead day at Marlins Park.
Yeah.
I remember I was the first one there trying to get bobbleheads and collecting them. So having one for myself, it's pretty special.
That's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see Zach Neto bobblehead night. You have to homer now on bobblehead night.
I know. Crazy thing is, it's my little nephew's birthday too. The day it comes out,
What's that date?
July 26th.
July 26th, Zach Neto bobblehead night.
Correction, Zach Neto Bobblehead Night is Friday, July 25th. July 25th, Zach Neto Bobblehead Night.
So
And he's just guaranteed a home run. Or did I do that? I don't know.
you did that,
I
but
did that. Okay.
I'll back you up.
All right, I appreciate
I got
that.
you.
Hey, thanks for hanging out on the pod.
Thank you,
Appreciate
guys.
it. Yep. What's up, dude?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Arts and crafts. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, stay right there.
I just had a bunch of chops on that. That's funny.
Oh, we did arts and crafts last year.
You guys
Yeah,
did
we
do
did.
arts and crafts. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was the worst t-shirt I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Oh my God.
All right.
That was bad.
Hannah never gave me one.
Yeah, 'cause you don't deserve it.